Daily Detroit is brought to you by the community. Support our work at patreon.com/dailydetroit.
Hello and welcome to your Daily Detroit. It is Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. I am J.R. Stays coming to you from our studio at Tech Town. Joining me at the table is none other than producer Cheyenne Noserini. How are you?
I am here. How are you?
I feel like that's everybody right now. We're here.
We're here.
We're here. We're going to have something fun and wacky to talk about, and then something not fun.
Or wacky.
Or wacky. Weird, but is what it is, and I think we need to talk about it. First off, Cheyenne, have you ever played pickleball?
Does it look like I play pickleball, Jer?
I'm not going to respond to that question.
It's a no. I've never played pickleball.
Well, there's a lot of pickleball places opening up. Recently in the newsletter, I talked about Paddle and Par in Beverly Hills, Michigan, not California.
Right.
That's I think an old Bed Bath & Beyond. And then
I know exactly that Bed Bath & Beyond, yes.
Right?
On
right.
Southfield, yep.
Tons of courts. There's membership. This is a whole thing. And you tell me there's another spot opening?
There is another spot. It's going to be this $15 million top-tier pickleball facility in Auburn Hills. It's called the Greystone Pickleball Club, Jer.
Okay. This is apparently according to Crane's Detroit Business. I don't understand pickleball. I'm willing to have my mind changed on this.
I mean, people have a lot of fun. They enjoy it.
I remember when there was like a lot of talk about public pickleball courts.
Yes.
And people like fighting between tennis courts and pickleball courts.
Right.
And now it's moved into the private sector. Now we're having private pickleball clubs.
Yeah. Did
they lose the fights on the public courts?
No, I think there's still public courts available for pickleball, but I'm wondering if maybe like now,
like everything, there has to be an elite track.
There has to be an elite track. I mean, let's face it, like pickleball is kind of on par with tennis, which it is more of an elite sport.
You think so? I don't know. See, I literally don't know. And that's one of the reasons I think we should have somebody or some buddies who like love pickleball, maybe some sort of pickleball expert.
Maybe.
Because like story after story is coming into my inbox about pickleball and it being a thing. Now, maybe it's because I live in the city.
Right.
I don't see as much about pickleball. My friends who live in Bloomfield and Birmingham are lighting up my Facebook about pickleball.
When I say elite, I picture, because I am from the east side and I grew up in Grosse Pointe. So when I think of tennis, I think of like Grosse Pointe, right? There are lots of people who play tennis around the world who are not like Grosse Pointers. But when I think of pickleball, I always see things that are very preppy. Lots of green and pink when I see pickleball.
I'm not against green and pink.
No. But I feel like that to me is coded as yuppie.
I'm putting a call out there from pickleball people, and specifically if somebody is like a pickleball expert, like a local pickleball person, not just talking about, say, all the stuff at their new facility, and I'll link to the stories in the show notes. I want to know more. I'm pickle curious. Let's get into a more serious story. I covered this on our newsletter Monday night a bit. The tariff conversation when it comes to American automobiles is really heating up as the April 2nd tariff deadline is coming from the Trump administration. And I don't like to spend tons of time on national stuff, but we have to talk about it.
It does touch us.
It will impact us quite a bit depending on how this goes. Now, last night, I shared some information from the New York Times about how the big three CEOs of General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis basically had resigned themselves that this is what Trump's going to do.
Right.
The Detroit News has reporting that there is a lot of belief that we can change minds. I want to quote from the Detroit News article that I will link into the show notes. Barra, for her part, said Trump's tariff plans are part of the negotiation to accomplish goals, suggesting she didn't necessarily believe they would be put in place. She said GM's goal was to help people understand before tariffs are in place what the implications are so they can understand and make decisions that are best for the country. Okay. I don't want to pick on Mary Barra specifically.
Yeah.
But this is an indicator of the old politics that is I feel like this and all the anger against Schumer in New York, the Senate leader, it's all tied together because politics and how the country works has changed.
Yeah.
And this feels very antiquated. I feel like whatever Trump's going to do. I don't think there is as an effective place for business lobbying for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, I feel this is definitely like we're taking it out of the old playbook. They are of how things used to be done and the lobbying that did occur and changing minds and working on things like together for like a common good. Whereas I think now we have somebody who is in office who just wants to do whatever he wants to do.
It's about leverage.
Yes.
And transaction. And I think there are differences between the first term and the second term that everyone needs to internalize.
This is not Trump 1.0. And I think people need to realize that and wake up.
Because the old playbooks aren't going to work. I was listening to this interview with Senator Schumer on the New York Times, and he's like, well, Republicans quietly behind the scenes tell me, no, it doesn't matter anymore, dude.
They're only going to.
There is a lot of support for Donald Trump, and honestly,
Yes.
there are a lot of support for tariffs. Now it is going to hurt the economy. It is going to raise the price of cars, but there are also a lot of people, and you can see that by the UAW support for tariffs, that are tired of things being made in other countries. Now, as we had tariff experts on the show,
Right.
there are a lot of issues with this,
Yes.
but there is this feeling among a lot of people that our country and our economy are too complex to understand, and we need to simplify it. And that is true on the left and the right. I also want to highlight that there are a lot of people talking about how Trump cares so much about the stock market. I don't think he does. I think what happened was, and this is from multiple things that I've been able to put together, he saw that the stock market did really well under Joe Biden, and Joe Biden didn't get reelected. And he's also got a lot in his ear, a lot of people around parallel economy and Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So I don't think the stock market is the regulator on the situation. I don't agree with everything that she believes in, obviously, but I think Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez has it right.
Yeah.
In that, this is a different world.
It is a different world. And I understand the want to bring jobs back into the country, right? Obviously. However, I feel like 25% tariffs is huge.
I also feel like this is not measured. There are ways to accomplish these goals. Maybe you don't soak Canada.
This is my biggest problem. Why are we going so hard? Well, I know why we're going so hard against Canada, because Trump wants to annex Canada.
And
right?
Don't take that as a joke.
It's not. I don't
stop
take it
taking everyone's got to stop taking this as a joke.
I don't take it as a joke, and Canadians don't take it as a joke. They take it as a threat, and they are mad. Canadians are pissed at us. They are canceling their vacations into America.
Delta is literally cutting back flights.
Yeah.
And all of this uncertainty in all of this, whether it's Canada or the United States, is driving people to not spend.
Yeah.
In a consumer economy.
Yeah. So our spending is shrinking everywhere because, one, everything is costing too much. No one is making any money. And then that's going to...
Well, some people are making money.
Some people are making money. But regular Joes are not making money.
But hasn't this been building up for many years?
Yes. It's been going.
I think one thing that a lot of people who have been in power for a long time don't understand is that people have been hurting for a long time.
Jer, we are elder millennials. We have already been through one recession in 2008.
Our generation is doing worse than the ones before us. And, we have people who we work with who listen to the show who are in their 20s. I am so sad for them because they are not living the quality of life that I did at their age.
No.
The lack of economic opportunity for them I think about the people I know who still haven't launched out of their house. I know a lot of there's data to back this up. Kyla Scanlon, a great economist who is actually in her 20s talking about this stuff. Dating, way down.
Well,
buying houses, way down. Everything's way down.
That's also, millennials have some hang-ups on relationships because they're afraid to be cringe. This is a whole other topic, right? Like, that's a whole other bag of worms.
Right, but if you don't feel confident, okay, think about this. If you still had to live with your parents at 26 or 27 or 28 years old, of course you're going to have reasons why things are cringe. Of course, you're not going to be out there in the world.
This is so nuanced and layered. But also that, and also they came of age during COVID. But they're afraid. And a lot of millennials are a lot more conservative now.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other thing too. Like the whole trad wife trend, the whole like super like conservative in the millennial space is very interesting to look at.
I feel like the public is showing their concern and realization that things aren't the same. When you look at the drop off in the consumer confidence index, when you look at, airlines saying, hey, revenue is way down. When you look at the boycotts that are actually working with a number of companies, not just Tesla, but there are others where there are material hits to their bottom line. I'm curious to see what your thoughts are. dailydetroit@gmail.com, 313-789-3211. Keep the thoughts respectful and constructive. Obviously, we're just talking about this. There are multiple views to this, but times are changing. Thank you so much for listening to your Daily Detroit. Thank you so much to our members on Patreon who help keep us afloat. Patreon.com/Daily Detroit. Thanks to Nate, who joined us as a member. You are awesome, Nate. Welcome, Nate. Always appreciate the support. With that, I'm Jer Stays.
And I'm Cheyenne Serini.
Remember that you are somebody, and we'll see you around Detroit. Talk tomorrow.